Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at how to create a video directly from PowerPoint. So I'm using Screencast-O-Matic here because otherwise you won't see all the tools in PowerPoint as we do it. But you can do this directly from PowerPoint, get it converted to an MP4, and so completely viewable on YouTube or just about any other environment. So let's get started. I have a PowerPoint open here. And let me start with step one. So in order to create your presentation, you would do all the things that you would normally do to create a presentation. You would open up your PowerPoint, you would get a new presentation up there, you would do things like adding slides and text. So such as that, you can add graphics to this. So of course, just the normal way, insert pictures. Okay, resize them as necessary, position them as necessary, etc. Once you have your text and graphics on your slides, what you'll want to do is you want to add slide transitions. So depending on your version of PowerPoint, you may find it here as a separate transitions tab. It can be slightly different. Now, the ability to create these as videos exists in all versions of PowerPoint from 2010 forward. So most people should be using these more current versions. There is a way to do it in 2007 and possibly even 2003, but it's much more complicated. So I would recommend that you get a more recent version. Okay, as you can see, I've already chosen Cube, but you could, come through here and choose any transition that you wanted to use. And then remember to hit apply to all so it goes to all of your slides. And if you add an additional slide after that, you'll just want to verify that you have the correct transition on the new slide. And the last thing to consider is animations. Now, animations are when text or graphics appear on the slide after the slide loads. So you've seen these before. There's a whole variety of them. You can have things zoom in or float in or wipe, or this is all basic PowerPoint stuff, and people honestly decide whether to use animations or not. It's personal choice. So I would say the only thing is have some purpose for it. So I will often use animations, and I won't make them too fancy because I don't want them to distract. But it's really a way of withholding information from the viewer until you're ready for them to see it. So basically the first step is just to review. It's create your presentation as a PowerPoint. Okay, next would be to record the slideshow. And there's two things that you're recording here. You're recording the actual timings. Okay, so how long before action, so how long before the next thing slides in or before the slide transitions over to the next slide, etc. And you're recording your narration, because if you're going to do this as a video, you really, in most cases, almost all cases, are going to narrate over the top of it. So people don't just have to read, but they can hear your explanation or your clarification. A lot of times with a PowerPoint, or most times, you're not just going to read what's on the slide, you're going to clarify, because the people can read it themselves. Okay, so in order to do this, you have two options. You can record from the beginning or record from a current slide. And you get this by going to Slideshow, Record Slideshow, and you'll see there are your two choices, from beginning or from current slide. Now if I pick from beginning, it's going to ask me, actually if I pick either one, it's going to ask me, do I want the animations and timings recorded? And the answer is always yes. And do I want the narrations recorded? And again, the answer is yes. So we just kind of leave this the way it is. We click the Start Recording button. And you can see now that the PowerPoint has started in its presentation form. The slide transition came up and I can start talking about this. This particular video is about creating videos through the use of PowerPoint directly. So let's get started. And then I would click here. Now, if I had animations on here, I could click through this and have these things enter, etc. And I just continue to go through the slideshow. Eventually, I'll reach the end. So I'm on step 4, I'm on step 5, I'm on the last slide. And when I click the last one, you're going to notice when I come back out, there are now little speakers in the corner of each slide. Now, the way that PowerPoint works, the way that it records your narrations, is to do it per slide. So that has some advantages and some disadvantages. The disadvantage, I can't really stop in the middle of a slide, like say I couldn't Screencast-O-Matic, just stop and continue. So if I've started talking on a slide and I make a mistake and I want to do it, I have to redo that entire slide. And let's take a look at that now. This is step 3. So basically, if I wanted to redo my voiceover of this slide, I'd simply click on it, delete it. But notice that the narration still exists on my other slide. So the disadvantage is I have to re-record an entire slide. I can't do part of a slide. But the advantage is that if I come back and there's been some change, say there's something I want to add, or maybe I'm doing something with technology and I find out it was updated last night, I can go into that particular slide, change whatever text I need to, delete the audio, and then come back up here and say I would like to record from the current slide. Now the trick here is when you finish recording this slide is to hit the escape key. Don't do that extra click and move to the next slide, because that is going to re-record the audio on the next slide. So let's take a look. So I'm going to start recording here. You'll notice this slide comes up, so I talk about this particular slide and how I'm going to re-record audio. And now that I'm done with that process, I simply hit the escape key. The audio is here, but the audio on my other slides hasn't been affected. That's right here. Okay, so that's how we're going to re-record. Now, outputting to video is pretty simple when you get your PowerPoint done and you have all the audio and it's the way that you like it. And to test that, you can simply click on it and play it. Okay, and that will give you a preview of the audio that's associated with this slide. When you're done with that, you're going to output to video. It's simply a matter of saying File, Export, and this from version to version, this may be slightly different, but it's basically in the same place. Create video. This is presentation quality. Okay, you can go to a high quality, an internet quality, or a lower quality. Even though I'm posting this up on YouTube, I tend to invest a little bit of extra time in file size for presentation quality. It really doesn't cost me anything. A little bit of time is what it costs. It takes a little longer to output and a little longer to upload, but I just generally keep it high. Also, this default setting of use recorded timings and narrations is good. I could say no, but then there would have been no point to all that other work that I did. Now I can jump back in and record timings or preview this, but mostly I would have done that before I was going to export this. And then when I'm done, I just say Create Video. I can navigate to wherever it is that I want to put this, give it a name, and save it. Now you notice in this version it's outputting directly as an MP4. If you have 2010 or earlier, it's going to output as this Windows Media file, Windows Media Video. So we'll take a look at that in a second, what we do if we have an older version. If you can get it as an MP4, it's great. You just export it and you're done. Now once you start exporting, it's going to take a little while. Okay, you can see down here it says creating video PowerPoint to video MP4. So it's creating the file, and you can see that this bar is going to have to fill up all the way across to here before it's done, and it will take some time. The older versions, this one's not a big video, and yet it's still taking a while. Certainly in older versions of PowerPoint it takes even longer. So don't be discouraged if you may wait 10 or 15 minutes for a video. You can go do something else. You don't need to sit here and watch it. This video is both small and I've got a fairly current version of PowerPoint, so it's moving a little quicker. But as I said, don't be discouraged if it takes a long time for this video to output. When it does finish, you're going to see that that just goes away. There's nothing more down here. I could bring my windows down and I could find my video. It's right here. And if I open that up, it's going to start playing in just a minute or two. So it takes a couple of seconds to load, but you can test it out just by playing it there. Now, if it is a Windows media, let me come back to my presentation here. If it does come out as a WMV file, you can still easily get it to PowerPoint. What you simply have to do is upload it to YouTube. And then if you want a copy on your computer, if being on YouTube is all you really wanted, then you're done. But if you do want to store that copy locally on your computer or on a flash drive, on anything else, what you've got to do is you've got to go to YouTube and download it again. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so here I'm in YouTube, and I'm in my channel, but you don't really need to be in your channel. You could be anywhere. Here, I'm in Creator Studio actually. So if I just came over here and I was in my channel as someone else might see it, there's always this button for uploading right here. So you just click. It'll take a second. Notice that if I upload now, this is set to public. If you do want a video private, you pick this, and then only you can see it unless you specifically add people. Unlisted will post it here, but it will not come up in YouTube searches. So it'll be up there. You can give somebody the URL to it. That's not terribly secure because they can share it with somebody else, and anybody who has that URL can see it. So if it's something that needs to be private, make sure it's private. In most cases, if we're doing educational videos, there's really not any harm in making it public. It's the easiest thing. You don't wind up with permission issues. If you do set it as unlisted, you can have problems when you put it into playlists and things. It may not appear there. So if there's no reason that this is, if this video is not particularly sensitive, if it's something that could be seen by the public, the simplest thing to do is to do it public. Okay, or you can schedule it, so you can upload it and simply say when it's going to appear. So it'll be on your channel, but it won't become available. So I'm just going to say public. I'm going to click here, and then you would browse and just find it and select it. So there it is, as an MP4. Now you can see when you're uploading to YouTube, this is the title that's going to appear, so you can edit that. You can give it a description. If you change your mind, you can change its listing here. We're going to spend a lot of time looking at different features in YouTube, so I'm not going to go into too much detail right now. It tells you right away that this is the link people could use to get the video when it's up there, even though it's not up there yet. And you can see that it's currently uploading, so it's at 63%. Then it will go through a process of preparing it and getting it ready. So it's going to go across here. Maybe we'll wait because there's only a couple of seconds left so that you can see the process. There you go, 0 seconds. But now it's processing and it's 0% processed. So it's going to have to come through here again until it's 100% processed. Then you want to hit publish. Okay. Let's say I've already got some videos up there. So it's going pretty quick actually. 91. I'll just wait for a second. And again, I would have changed these things and fixed them up a little bit. Okay, you can now hit publish. If you wanted to download that, you simply come to your name, go to Creator Studio, click on Video Manager, and then Videos. It will show you all your videos. And right here you can pick next to the video you want and simply say download MP4. So if you were converting that from another file format, this is a way to do it easily with YouTube. One issue is that you can only download 5 a day from YouTube. So if you're doing a lot, you're going to have to download them over a course of days. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, send me an email.